Dear petrolheads of the world, I know there hasn't been a video for a long time now, but well, some things kind of got in the way. First off, it suddenly became summer in Sweden for once, and that means I wanted to drive my S2000 instead of being inside the garage. So I did for a couple of weeks, and then summer kind of ended and I actually sold the S2000 and bought a Polo instead. Well, it's a nice daily driver. Anyway, that's why I haven't been working on this beast here. But now it's autumn in Sweden instead, and it's time to get to work. Now, if you remember the first video, I said I was going to change the gearbox. And well, that's kind of still what I'm doing. You see, things tend to take a bit longer time than you expect when you're working on an old car. I had to use the angle grinder on some bolts, and that meant, well, I needed to replace this one here. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to replace that one, I might just as well make the whole spindle new, or good as new, and that means changing the wheel bearing as well for both sides. And well, it takes a lot of time and it costs more than I expected, but well, I think it's best to just do it properly while I have things apart, and it will be much easier to work on it in the future, because this isn't the last time I'm gonna be in the wheel wells and taking things apart on this car, unfortunately. So anyway, while I keep on working on this, I thought I'd tell you some more about the general plan of the build and the goals. So back to myself, I guess. Alright, so I want to tell you a bit about why I'm doing this project, what my plans are, and some of the goals. First off, you might have seen the video where I drove my S2000 off the track, and I wasn't very happy, so I thought, well, I'm gonna make another car that's cheaper, and so if I drive it off the track, it won't matter so much. So that's basically why I wanted to build this car. The goal is to build a proper track day car as cheap as I possibly can. I mean, sure, I could just go out and buy something that's finished, but that's not as fun, I think, and it's a bit of a challenge to do it on a tight budget as well. Also, I'm not an experienced mechanic, so basically, if I can make a proper track day car for little money, then anyone can. So what are the plans then? First off, as you might have seen in the first video, the gearbox wasn't working at all, so I'm changing that. But as usual, when you do stuff around cars, things break down when you loosen bolts, and they don't want to loosen, so you have to grind it down, and then you have to replace, stuff. And after I sold the S2000, I thought also might just as well do the Civic a bit better. So instead of just replacing the So instead of just replacing the gearbox, I'm now also replacing the clutch with a stock one. So that was the first thing. It's not done yet, but I hope that I will have a video of that in maybe a week's time. So when that's done, I'm going to throw out basically everything inside the car that's not needed. I'll save the dashboard, of course, and the 2 front chairs. I'll remove everything else, just, you know, weight reduction, row. So there's that. Then a lot of rust. I need to fix the rust issue, so I've gotten myself a welding machine, so there's going to be definitely a couple of hours of rust fixing. Well, anyway, it has to be done. Then I'll upgrade the brakes. I've actually already bought a big brake kit. It's slightly bigger disc brakes and different calipers from, I think it's an Integra Type R. It's supposed to fit. So bigger brakes, at least in the front, and the rears I think I will leave them. I'll do new coilovers, some proper ones, that's for racing, and good chair, racing seat, like something like this. But we'll see what I find. The thing is, since I'm doing it on a budget, I need to try to keep the cost down and find things used. So we'll see how lucky I'll be. But well, that's basically everything, really. Because the Civic EG, it's a light car. It's this one is the EG5, so it's got the 125 horsepower engine. That's not a lot, I'm not saying that it is, but I think it's enough, at least for track days and like that kind of racing, since it's so light. And you know, as soon as you start fiddling with the engine on a naturally aspirated engine, it's just so much money per horsepower you get. You have to put in the car, and I don't want to do that. So I think basically that's what I'm going to do. Then I might upgrade some sway bars if I find some cheap. I might make my own strut bar. Yeah, you know, just minor things, changing the air filter to a new one, relocating it because it's kind of in a strange place right now. More than that, yeah, I'm thinking about a roll cage and 4-point harness belts. I might go for the belts without the roll cage anyway, but yeah, maybe not this season, maybe next season, if I decide to keep the car, if I don't crash it. Oh, one more thing, important thing, racing tires. Yes, I'm getting some proper racing tires that won't overheat as the street tires on the S2000 did. They were like butter, so that's not good. I think that's basically it, and I hope that will be enough to have a nice car to drive, to race in, that I can properly learn how to race with, and keep, and you know, upgrade as I find cheap parts used, and yeah, we'll just see. So what's the goal then? Well, one of the goals is to be able to sell it for as much as I've spent on it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do that. Usually that's like impossible when you do cars, project cars, and do anything on cars basically. Cars cost a lot of money. You never get those money back. But I'm thinking if I manage to find used parts, and I did get to buy the car fairly cheap. since it was kind of half broken with the gearbox and all, but yeah, we'll see. That's one of the goals. Another goal is to set a track time on Kinnekulle racetrack, where I raced the S2000 of I think 1 minute 5 seconds. I think that's a reasonable goal. It's going to be fairly hard to get to, since I'm a noob still. I'll probably go to some kind of racing training day in the spring with the car and learn how to drive it properly with an instructor, and so I'll keep you posted. Please, if you have any comments or advice, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to get advice, because frankly I don't know what I'm doing. So this is a big adventure and it's really fun so far. I'm looking forward to the next season while I can drive this car. And it's basically the first time I've done this kind of restoration of a car. A real project car from the bottom up. When I bought it, it was stock completely, nearly, at least. Different steering wheel. Alright, I'm not gonna waste your time anymore, so I'll see you in a week, I hope.